Luxcana from Luxury Gaming, and I'm here with...
Kris Coy.
Okay, how did you do today?
I got second place in the whole thing.
That is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What did you play?
I played Steel Song.
Ooh, a bit of spicier version, I believe.
It's got some spice. It's definitely got some spice there.
Okay, can't wait to see it. Let's see.
Sure. All right. So, first off, we've got the Queen Regal Monarch. 4 of those. She's a great shift target. Just a standard 2/2. All right. Following that, we have the same reasoning for Robin Hood. He's also a great shift target as well.
It kind of also prevents like the Flynn Rider if you're playing the red-purple.
Exactly. It does prevent Flynn Rider. Very nice for that. Following that, we've also got Ursula Vanessa. She is an absolutely wonderful singer. She can sing anything that's cost 4 or lower for songs, which means by turn 3, you can sing Zeus, which basically means you can kill anything, because I don't think there's any card that can just survive as Zeus by turn 3.
So now can I ask you, why are you not playing the little Cinderella?
I found her to be a little too vulnerable. So she's really good on the play, because she can sing, by turn 2 and sing all the cost 3 songs.
Yeah.
But when you're playing the meta decks, like Red, Blue, and Blue, Steel, they don't generally play anything for you to sing anyways. So she's just a 1/2 quester at that point. And then when you're playing against Green, Steel, if they're going first and then you play Cinderella, chances are it's going to get killed anyways. So it's not good going second, which means it's only good going first, which means it's only good when you have the advantage of going first anyways. So it just doesn't really work.
So it's like not really good in a best of 2 format.
In a way, yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have 4 flutes for the standard song package. Gains you a lot of lore, so definitely worth having.
Now, would you play flutes turn 2, or would you wait?
Generally speaking, I don't like to do that.
Okay.
I don't like to play it turn 2 unless I feel like it's one of the only options I can have at the time. But I would much rather play this or 2 of the cost ones.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Following by that, we have 3 Let the Storm Rage On. This is a really good Steel Song to just play. The reason I'm running 3 is because I'm already running a huge amount of Uninkables, and I didn't want to keep adding more. So,
how many Uninkables are in your deck, if you don't mind me asking?
I believe there's 22 Uninkables.
22 Uninkables,
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do you find your hand to be cloggy at points, or?
Yeah, it can definitely happen. It's happened a few times. Luckily, most of the times I've had Whole New World to help me just get right out of it. But it can definitely brick. What's really important is the mulligan and knowing what to remove and what not to remove when you're trying to find Inkables in the beginning.
What's your ideal hand?
I would ideally want to have a Vanessa and a Zeus, a shift target and the shift itself, and then maybe a Whole New World if I could just do it again.
So are you mulliganing for Vanessa, you think? Like
not
if you
all
don't
the time.
Okay.
It depends. It depends on what I'm fighting.
Gotcha.
But in a lot of matchups, it is good to have Vanessa.
What if you're going blind?
If I'm going blind, if I'm first, I'm going aggro. So I'm going with this, cost 2 to play, a cost 3, whether that is aerial or anything like that, just trying to keep questing and going aggro and just making them play to my game instead.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Following that, we have World's Greatest Criminal Mind. This has come in very handy for fighting the Red, Blue, and Blue Steel matchups when they play Tamatoa or they play Big Sisu or some are playing like Simba, stuff like that. It's just really good just to kill them. It also works really well with the Queen Shift target. Here's a spicy tech as well.
Ooh.
Lawrence. I really like the Lawrence. So on just being on there undamaged, he's a 4/4, which means he avoids the standard removal of red, which would be Brawl and Medusa. And in a lot of them now, especially with red-purple and blue-red, I'm assuming they're not playing Ice Block, this guy will not die to those types of removal. So he just stays there and he quests.
Yeah, he's a heavy quester with the 2.
He is. He's a very heavy quester with the 2. And it also means that the only way to remove him easily is they have to use B-Prep. So that's a good way to just force them to waste that, if you have to. Following that, we have the standard aerial package. Finding songs is really important for this deck, and she does that.
How many songs do you play?
17 songs.
17 songs.
I have found that having at least 16 makes it consistent enough with around a 70% chance of getting a song, and 17 is around there too.
So like you're not really whiffing with the Ariel.
Not too much. I mean, it's happened several times in a row, but generally it doesn't happen too often.
It's like bad luck at that point.
Yeah. All right, here's the spicy tech I really like as well. That is Baloo. He
Ooh.
is amazing. I love this guy. So when I was playing this before and I was practicing with it, a very common one that people would play with Steel Song is Pride Lands, which is a 7 health location that's also uninkable and gains you 1 lore every turn and some other effects. But the main point of it is to gain lore every turn. I have found that I really prefer Baloo because he gives you 2 whenever he dies, and a lot of the time if you're playing red, your stuff is going to die. So he's always a nice 2. He's kind of like Orange's version of a goat from Purple. And he also sings my songs, which is really good and something that Pride Lands can't do. So being able to sing the songs really helps him as well.
He's also a pretty big like defense, like with the 3, like so it is kind of a little bit more difficult to remove him than if it was like a 1 or a 2 defense.
That's true. He does survive Grab Your Swords, which has come into play.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Following that idea, using Rapunzel to heal him or any other ones is also really good. Rapunzel works amazingly well with Lawrence as well.
Honestly, I was going to ask you that question if you were going to play it.
Yep. Let's see here. After that, I have 4 copies of Then Along Came Zeus. This is kind of iffy. Some people only run 3, other people run 2 or 1. I chose 4 because there are a lot of instances where I just want to kill something just to get it off the board, and Zeus is almost always going to kill something. Obviously, he's not going to kill really big stuff that blue-red and blue-steel can bring out, but in the early game at least, and like even towards the mid-game, this will kill things. And I think, as I said, Ursula can sing this by turn 3, and nothing's going to survive with Zeus on turn 3. Let's see here. Next, we've got... Oops. I think we're missing one here. I apologize. There should be 4 of these Robin Hoods. I only see 3 right now. Did it drop?
Is it in your deck box?
Oh, my apologies. Yes, it is in my deck box. There we go. Okay. So I'm running 4 Robin Hoods. It's a really great shift target, and just overall general, it's a really good card. Whenever it kills something, it gains 2 lore, and you also are controlling the board through him. He's a great scener for all my cost 5 songs, and he shifts as early as turn 3. And, you know, if he ever dies in challenge, you get to draw a card. So he's the full package of what you want for what's essentially like a cheater card, you know?
Are you always trying to shift turn 3?
No. Turn 3 has a lot of different options. I could play the Lawrence. I could play Ariel. I could shift. I could do a lot of different things. But I am generally trying to get a shift target if possible. I won't always do it, but having that option is very important. This deck kind of branches out like a tree where it's starting out with the obvious cost 1s, then you have the cost 2s, but towards turn 3, you have a lot of different options of what you want to do. I could sing a song, I could play Lawrence if it's a good matchup for that, I could shift, or I could play Ariel, or I could play like an Ursula and another cost 1 or anything like that. It gives more options as it branches out, which makes it more versatile.
What's your ideal ink count? Like, how many ink do you feel like pretty comfortable with? Like,
I think around 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
Yeah, I feel like once it's there, it kind of just goes online, and you can just keep doing what you're doing. But 6 would be the best one because then you could play other cards that you need. Next, we have Grab Your Swords. A standard is 3 copies. I feel like it's necessary due to Bucky and other things. But yeah, it's just a basic area wipe. It's just good for the sake of being good. Following the lines of the Robin Hood, the Queen is also a really good shift target as early as 3 to sing songs as well. And it's just a generally good target, or generally good shift. It's also really great for turn 2 Whole New World singing, this is like the card that makes the deck so strong because it just keeps worlding, getting another hand, and things like that.
When's the ideal time to Whole New World?
That is a tough question because it just depends on what the state of the board is.
Okay.
If you were going in blind,
you
might just want to do it by turn 2 after a shift of the Queen.
Got
and
it.
that's just That's just because at that point you would have less cards in your hand compared to the opponent, so you will be getting more value out
the
of
advantage.
it. Yeah, but it just really depends.
Okay.
Finally, we have, well, not finally, but we do have 3 Tinkerbells. Again, this is for the Bucky matchup. I personally don't like her too much. I actually like the aerial machine gun card instead. That's the one that can just do 3 damage if you pay 2 every time you sing a song. But I feel like she is necessary for Bucky. I am glad that he is getting soft nerfed next month. So
yes,
might go from there. And finally, as a wild card Joker card, I played one Chernabog just to have him. I do like him. I think he's really cool, but I would not run too many of him because he's very easily to brick your hand. But I have found that he is amazingly wonderful when you play him towards late game, and you get to recycle your Rapunzels and your Baloos and like all the really juicy cards that you want back into your deck. And it's very interesting because when you've ideally played him, you've already played a bunch of your songs, you get all your characters back, and it somewhat plays kind of like a Mufasa deck, where you just keep getting characters and characters and characters, keep playing and playing and playing. So I do like him a lot.
How much did you use him?
In my matches, I think I used him like in half of all of my matches.
That is
like a pretty decent amount of time there. He made a
comeback.
Impact. Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say he necessarily made a comeback every time, but just being able to just play one for free when you have 10 or more really
how
puts a lot of
satisfying
pressure.
Is that?
It's very nice. It is very nice to do that.
Okay. Do you have any social medias or any shout outs you want to do?
I actually don't have any social medias.
Okay.
But I will shout out to my girlfriend, Nancy. She supported me on this and really pushed me to keep going further. I was actually really happy at getting at top 64. And then we just kept going and going. Then I was really happy at top eight because I got the Mickey. And then we kept going. I got all the way to second place, which is amazing for me because this is like my first major tournament. The only one I've ever been to is Houston PPG back in like 6 months ago. And like this is my first DLC, and I'm super happy where I ended up.
That's great. Sounds like you have a great support system.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Do you have the Mickey that you want to show?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Give me a second here.
That's perfect. Yeah. I've actually never seen one up close.
Give me a second. I've got it between these two things just to keep it safe.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. There you go.
Make sure you smile.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
And it's even lucky number 21.
Ooh.
That's a nice one.
That's huge. Good for you.
Thank you.
Thank you again, man.
Thanks, guys.